Jai Bhim, Jai Malnivasi to all of you, all the viewers of MNT News Network. Today is Sunday, and welcome you to Sunday special discussion. As you all of you know, every day we are organizing the discussions in Hindi, but specifically on Sunday we are organizing the discussions in specifically in English. So today also we are going to discuss one of the important topic and one of the very important movement that has happened in southern part of India, and definitely the viewers who are outside the southern part will come to know or will be able to get more information on our forefathers movement, on the movement of Periyar E.V. Ramasamy sir and his movement. So he has run various movements throughout his life, and one of the movement was very famous movement was Vaikom movement. So this we are going to discuss about this specific topic today, and we had along with us our distinguished guest speaker, Mulyawasi K. Tilak Kumar sir, who is National President of MKKM, and today he is going to elaborate more on this particular topic of this specifically the Periyar E.V. Ramasamy and his Vaikom movement. So, as you all of you know, that Periyar E.V. Ramasamy has done his overall movement was very much appreciative, and he had run a very socio-political movement throughout southern part of India. So today we are going to discuss about his Vaikom movement along with Mulyavasi K. Tilakumar sir. K. Tilakumar sir, welcome you to MNT News Network's studio. We are glad to have you today. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulyavasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashish. Jai Bhim, Jai Bhim.
Yeah. Thank Thank you, and Jai Bhim, Jai Mulyavasi. Sir, as most of our viewers are here to listen about the southern part movement, and specifically various our forefathers has run the movement. But as far as the overall system is considered, and particularly the Vedic system and the various literatures that were prepared to rule over the Mullivasis, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and OBCs, and in this particular social system, as we see, there was a ban on various activities of these Mul Nivasis, of these SC, ST, OBCs. And one of the activity or one of the ban was entry of these people, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes in the temples. So, particularly today, we would like to know as this Vaikom movement or our forefathers' social movement is considered. It started right from Buddha and carried over forward to by Fuleji, and then Baba Saheb Ambedkar, and then Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy and many forefathers. So, as far as this movement is considered, 1924-1925, this particular period is known for this social part which was prevailing in southern part of India. So first, we would like to know, right from means before the independence of India, what sort of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward classes people were facing the social discrimination, and particularly around this era of 1920 to 1930. So, if you can elaborate the situation that the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes we are facing during this particular era, then we will be able to understand in more depth about the Vaikom movement. Sir, please give us some brief about the situation that the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and OBC class people were facing during this particular period, sir. Sorry, I think his network is lost, and he will be joining with us very soon. Particularly the Dr. Babasaheb movement, it started in 1906, and it carried forward. And I think Tilak Kumar sir had joined, and as soon as he joined, we will be able to connect with him. So we are trying to understand the situation because at that era it was a British period era, and during this British period era, the situation that scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and others. So yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please elaborate on the
Sir.
situation during 1920 to 1930 around. Tilak, sir. Hello. I think still there is some network problem. Tilak sir, we are not able to hear you. Can you please rejoin? So, friends, as you know that particularly this southern part also means entire India was struggling, and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's movement was carried forward during this period after Shahu Maharaj's entire regime and the development that has happened during this particular period. Entire India, there was a social revolution going on, and various agitations were going on. And in this particular same movement, in the southern part also, the movement was going on, and it was led by Periyar E.V. Ramasamy. So, one of the agitation that was carried out, one of the ban that was talking was also related with temple entry ban. So, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes people were not allowed to enter in the temple, and that was one of the discriminatory mark that was given to scheduled tribes and the backward class people, that they don't have any right to enter the temple because they are downtrodden people, they are degraded people, and that's why they are not able to enter in the temple. So that was the system that was prevailing. So today also we are going to understand about this particular system, and try to understand what this movement was, and how did it happen, and what was the role played by Periyar E.V. Ramasamy sir in this particular movement. Tilak Kumar sir, can you hear us? Tilak Kumar sir?
Hello, Ashish ji.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sir, please check my video also.
Yeah. Can you please
Some network problem is there.
Yeah, we are able to see that one. Just adjust the camera. Viewers, we are sorry, there is some network problem with Tilak Kumar sir, and he is trying to connect with us. He is going to join with us, and we will try to hear from him about this particular topic. Tilak Kumar sir?
Sir, sorry, but sir, thank you for inviting me for this today's session. And today's is a very important session that Periyar Ramasamy, E.V. Periyar Ramasamy ji led a movement in Kerala. So Vaikom movement is one of the important movement in southern part of India, and particularly in Kerala. So in Vaikom there was a Lord Shiva temple. In English it was called Southern Kashi, and that temple was built in the year 1594. So during the year 1594, the temple was built, and during the year 1924, the local people started agitation that particularly the lower caste people from Ijwa community and other lower community people were not allowed to use the streets around the temple. And there were 4 streets available on 4 sides of the temple, and those streets were not useful. Shall be used by the certain upper caste people only. So this was the injustice that was prevail in those days, and for that a satyagraha was launched by the Congress party, but initially because that is social movement was there in the Congress party. and political movement and social movement are different agitations available in those days in that party. So in 1924, a satyagraha was launched by against injustice by Mr. T.K. Madhavan, and it was lasted for 18 months. In the initial stages, K.P. Keswa Menon and George Joseph led the struggle, and other prominent figures, including Kurur Nelakanthan Nambudri and Manattu Padmanabhan. And these are the prominent figures who participated in the Vaikom movement. So that temple actually it is one of the smallest town, and at present the population in Vaikom is around 23,000, and the local language is Malayalam, and people can speak in English. So those leaders I have told just now were in the Congress party, and they started the agitation and satyagraha in a peaceful manner. And I think, as per the reports, the initial agitation was failed because the local administration put the leaders in behind bars. So, with this reason, the Congress leaders were failed to continue the agitation, and Mr. George Joseph, who sought direction from Gandhi, and C. Rajagopalachari and others, the Congress leaders available in those days, and he wrote a letter to Periyar Ramasamy pleading with him to lead the satyagraha. So this was the background of Vaikom movement that was existed in those days, Ashiji.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for giving us the overall background of the Vaikom movement and the period it was prevailing during 1924 to 1925. Sir, also as we see Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy birthplace and his entire, he was living in one of the Erode district, and whereas this Vaikom is particularly a very different place from his native place. So, though these two different places were there, how was it possible for Periyarji to grab and hold control of overall this Vaikom movement and then lead it successfully? What efforts he made, sir?
Thank you, Ashish. Very good question. Geographically, the distance between Vaikom and Erode, Periyar Ramaswamy's birthplace and native place is Erode. It is in Tamil Nadu, and Vaikom is just the western part of India, and particularly it is in Kerala, and it is a distance between Vaikom and Erode is around 305 kilometers. And Periyar Ramaswamy he started his movement in Tamil Nadu, and he not only he worked in Congress party, but in social front he run the movement against Brahmanism, and he fought bitterly. Ramaswamy Naikar was a atheist, and he was a strong personality. He lived for around more than 95 years. He was not believed any god, and he declared that those people who are having a weak mind are only follows God. So first, the people should have strong mind and mentality, so that God is not required for them. So, and in the name of religion, the social system that was degraded most of the people, public, particularly Shudra communities, and particularly lower caste communities, and he fought against the discrimination between upper caste and lower caste. So he fought against caste system, and he was successfully led the movement in Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu and Kerala are the side by side states. And the leaders who led the movement in Kerala thought that Periyar Ramaswamiji is the right person to lead the movement in Vaikom to get justice, and to achieve the minimum human rights, to enter into the not only enter into the temple, just at least to use the streets around the Vaikom temple, even though it was built in 1594. the discrimination continued from centuries together, and the people revolted against the social system that was available in Vaikom. So they pleaded Periyar Ramaswamiji and other Congress leaders also, because the social movement is also parallelly run in those days in Congress party, and with this background, Periyar Ramaswamiji went to Vaikom and led the movement. Ashish.
Sorry, sir. As far as this Vaikom movement is considered, definitely the shift of Periyar E.V. Ramasamy from Erode to this Vaikom place had made effect. But as far as we see that this Vaikom movement was running before that also, before 1924 also, though it was prominently led by Periyar E.V. Ramasamy from 1924 to 1925. But particularly how this Ms. Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy run this particular movement to fight for the rights of the this Mulnivasi people for getting entry into the temple, because that is also a sign of dignity, because all other people were getting entry, but only Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe and other backward castes people were not getting entry in the temples. So they were having the sign of one sort of one on one side it was a dignity and other side it was degradation. So how Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy took this particular challenge, and how he fought for the rights of the people to be a human, to consider as a human, how what role he played in this particular Vaikom movement when he took over this movement, sir.
Ashish ji, it's a very important and strategic question. And Periyar Ramaswamy ji entered to Vaikom on April 13th, 1924. And from the day, on first day to the end of the movement, and he propagated against the Brahminical system existing in Tamil Nadu, not only in Tamil Nadu, and in Vaikom, and particularly in Kerala. And he moved in and around Vaikom, and he traveled up to Thiruvananthapuram, and he educated the masses and took the he mobilized the public. He visited villages and in and around Vaikom, and he delivered beautiful speeches on several towns and villages. So because of his propagation and education, the people got confidence that they can participate in the movement. Even though it was called a Satyagraha, but a lot of violence was took place, and so many leaders and public were arrested during the movement. And actually, the local leaders asked Mr. Gandhi, who led the Indian independence movement during those days, to make the Satyagraha, the Vaikom Satyagraha, an all India affair. But Gandhi refused to make it as a all Indian affair, and uh, Gandhi thought that this is a local movement, or Gandhi might have thought that this type of situation prevailing throughout the country, and with that reason, maybe he refused to make this Satyagraha as an all India Satyagraha or all Indian agitation. The Actually, if we see the British police report, because during those days British ruled the country, and the police in their secret reports told that Periyar was the key personality, and because of his movement and the Satyagraha, the peaceful movement, may turn into a violent movement, and they gave an important information to the their higher authorities, and the agitation is a genuine agitation, and so many prominent leaders from all over the country visited Vaikom and supported Periyar Ramaswamiji and his movement. Actually, the local Kerala leaders were disappointed because of their various issues and problems, and they were unable to run the movement in Vaikom. And with the guts and strength of Periyar, Periyar, after the Periyar reaches Vaikom, only the movement turned around, and the local administration and particularly when he propagated against the social system and caste system in and around the Kerala, that was a major and important strategy that the upper caste people were frightened by seeing the propagation of Periyar Ramaswamiji, and they have diluted their thinking process, and they have compromised with their social strategy that not to allow the public around the Shiva temple, in and around Shiva temple, and the four streets of the oldest ancient temple. And they were also come to a conclusion that it was the time to reduce their agitation, they reduce their orthodox strategies, and the police and the government also gave them signs that it is the time to give the path to the all the public, to use the all the roads to the all the public. So with the campaigning, and not only that campaign, previously the Periyar was arrested and sentenced for 1 month jail in local jail. And after his release from the jail, he was not went to Erode, and again he came to Vaikom, and again started his movement. And later he was again arrested, and he this time he was taken to Thiruvananthapuram Central Prison and kept him for 4 months in Central Jail. And this type of arrests was Periyar was not afraid of the afraid by the police, or not afraid of his imprisonment in jails. So he was very committed personality, strong personality, and he because of his leadership skills that was happened, and Vaikom struggle and Satyagraha came to a conclusion that all the road out of 3 roads, 4 roads were kept open to the all the public, and this was one of the greatest success in Vaikom. Ashishji.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, on elaborating more. Sir, particularly if we see Kerala, the particular community called as is having a major population in Kerala, and almost 23-24% population was facing this particular means degradation, and also Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy also belonged to that particular clash. So basically, as far as this overall movement is considered, and he was more moving in the mass, and he was getting the mass support, and that could have attracted the national media attention towards this particular movement, and particularly after that also, if we see, because 1924, 1925 was the era of this Vaikom Satyagraha, and after that, if we see, there was Kalaram Mandir. There was basically first Mahad Satyagraha, which was organized in the north by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in 1927, and after that also we see in 1930 there was Kalaram Mandir temple agitation. So particularly, and also there were various meetings between Babasaheb and Periyar ji after this particular event. So on your opinion, how basically the social movement of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward classes got strengthened or got a way forward after this particular Vaikom movement? How do you see from social aspects, sir?
Ashishji, it is a very good question. The social aspect of Vaikom movement is a turnaround situation in Kerala. So actually, the Vijavas were having a major population percentage in strength in Kerala. the Yajwas were untouchables during those days. And Narayana Guruji started a movement in Kerala. And interestingly, Narayana Guruji also came to Vaikom and supported Periyar Ramasamy ji agitation in Kerala. So, and Baba Sahib Ambedkar also having close ties with and relations with Narayana Guruji and Periyar Ramaswamy ji. So they have led the movement. In particularly, Periyar ji led the movement in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Narayan Guruji led the movement in Kerala, and Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar led the movement throughout the country. So they are having a very good coordination and cooperation. And if we see the situation in Kerala, the Yajwas were untouchables and belongs to lower caste community. And all the untouchables in this country were listed in scheduled caste except Yajwas. The Yajwas, after this movement of Narayana Guru and Periyar in Kerala, they have decided to not to claim scheduled caste status, and they have not applied to list their caste in the list of scheduled caste. So, with that reason, uh, they that caste was not listed in the list of scheduled caste. So, their economical condition was also improved because of their movement and because of their educational levels, and but to the some extent, and they were not listed in scheduled caste, and with their by seeing the economical status, they were fit as a backward caste. So this is the unique phenomena in that was happened in Kerala. uh, we cannot see the situation, same situation nowhere in India. The untouchables are not listed in scheduled caste. The same untouchables now became backward community, OBCs. The Yajavas were one of the dominant community, and they are running various social movements in Kerala, and they are running businesses and they are developing on their own. So this is the situation we have seen in Kerala, and they have break the untouchable barrier, and became one of the elevated group in Kerala. So every movement is will be helpful to elevate their social style of living from one stage to another stage. And this is the live example in Kerala. And not only that, because of the social movement of Narayana Guru, and Narayana Guru started his movement that temple and school. He converted temples into schools and gave education to all the public. And Periyar Ramaswamy ji gave strong message to the Kerala people that we can fight against social system. So, and Baba Sahib Ambedkar already represented in London, and gave representations in roundtable conferences, and Baba Sahib also worked as a labor minister in British Viceroy also, uh, and these forefathers gave moral support to the Kerala people, and because of their movement, the Kerala got almost 100% literacy rate in India. It is the only state in India that which is having 100% literacy and more literacy when compared with other states. So these are all the fruits of our movement, and the Kerala is one of the leading and state, and it is living in forefront. And because of their educational levels, we can see most of the Kerala people are living in abroad, and particularly in Gulf countries and various parts of the world, and they are freely traveling, and they are strengthening their economical conditions, and they are sending money, foreign exchange to the India, and also they are now taking very good share to strengthen the Indian economy also. These are the fruits of social movement that we can see in Kerala, and various parts of the country, particularly related to social movement. Ashish ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for elaborating more on this particular aspect of the effect of the social movement of our fathers and the results of it. So definitely the movement that was started though in 1924 yeah, as a Vaikom movement, but ultimately when it led to social movement, it had a nationwide means reaction, and definitely overall effect was in the positive ness of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward class people, the Multivasi people, and they got benefited. The rights they were not having, the rights of education and rights of moving on the street, they got through the movement of our social forefathers. So almost we are toward the end of the session, sir. And as you are leading one of the employees front of our organization, and you are Miss Nationwide leading the Mulnivasi Karmachari Kalyan Mahasangh. So particularly as far as Periyar E.V. Ramasamy movement and our social forefathers movements are considered, what message you would like to give to our viewers on this particular fruits which our the employees of today's are getting due to the overall social movement run by our forefathers, including Periyar E.V. Ramasamy.
Thank you, Ashish ji. Just we have to learn lessons from our forefathers, and we have to learn lessons from the history. So Periyar Ramaswamy ji is from Tamil Nadu, and uh, participated in the movement in Kerala. That means interstate bondage and relationship was existing during those days to start and strengthen the movement, social movement particularly. So, and nowadays, all the educated class from either from Kerala or Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Andhra or Orissa or whatever the state it may be, and the educated class must unite, and they should think in single direction that we can say in those days the Vaikom Satyagraha was the problem, and nowadays the privatization is the problem. So the problem is changing from time to time. So all the educated class, because the educated class is the enlightened class, and the only they are this is the class who is only having leadership skills, and these educated people shall communicate to each other and cross the barriers of language. They shall cross the barriers of language or reason, and they have to work unitedly to achieve the results, because of our reservation and because of the social movement. Today we can see the educated class in this country. Today we can see the employees in this country. So that was not available during those days, particularly in 1925. The Vaikom movement victory was celebrated on November 29th in 1925. So if we see from November 29th, 1925 to as on date, there was a lot of change in this country, and a lot of development due to education and due to the rights that is available due to our Indian the great constitution, and we are having so many privileges, and we got so many freedom, we got so many rights. So to just to safeguard these rights and to safeguard our employment and to safeguard the educational system, the educated class from Kerala to Jammu and Kashmir, from northeastern states to Gujarat or Rajasthan. So all the educated class must think in single direction, must coordinate to each other, must have maintain relationship with each other, and must involve in organizations like WAMSF and MKKM and other offshoot wings, and with the support of organizational strength, they shall unite and they shall work to safeguard this country, to safeguard the employment. So, to safeguarding employment is not only for SC, ST, OBC. And if we see the total percentage of reservation, that is limited to 50% in most of the countries and majority states. So, safeguarding employment means not only safeguarding the downtrodden communities, it is directly or indirectly safeguarding the other communities also. So we have to run the movement, we have to strengthen the movement, and we have to work together so that we have to inspire from our forefathers and their movement, particularly from Periyar Ramasamy ji, Narayan Guru ji, and Mahatma Jyotiba Phule ji, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and other forefathers. So by uh, by taking a viewpoint on the social movement of our forefathers and to understand the present situation and scenario, we have to work together and we have to fight together and we have to live together to safeguard the rights for the future generation and for the present generation also. Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you very much, sir. You had very rightly pointed out, and it is the need of the time that employees should come forward, students should come forward, the young class of the society should come forward to get their rights and run the to means basically understand the movement that was led by our forefathers, and then as per their directions, as per their indications, they had to lead the particular masses who are almost more than 85% the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward classes. Hope your message reaches to our all the viewers and the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward classes people, and they think in this particular direction to work on this particular your views and take this karwa forward. Thank you very much, sir, for joining today. We will again invite you on different topics and different days in MNT-English Network Studio. Hope you will again join us, sir. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Muldevasi, Jai Savidan, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Ashish ji. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulyavasi, Jai Samvidhan, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. So it was K. Tilak Kumar, sir, National President of MKKM, who joined today, and he shared his views on Periyar E.V. Ramasamy Naikar's movement and overall social movement run by him, and particularly as far as the Vaikom movement run by him in particular aspects of getting rights to the downtrodden people in as far as the temple entry was considered, so that they should be distinguished as a human. So it was a very good interaction with K. Tilak Kumar, sir, and this video will be there on Facebook and YouTube, and you are requested to share this link along with all the your friend circle and your relatives, so that they will also come to know about this particular information about Periyar E.V. Ramasamy, sir, and his social movement of Vaikom. So this video will be there at this particular link. And as far as the overall schedule or overall panel discussions of MNT networks are considered, tomorrow also we are going to organize one important topic in Hindi, and that is with at 8:30 p.m. in Hindi, and the topic is धन धरती और राजपाट पर 90 भाग हमारा है. So it the statement made by Babu Jagdev ji. How and why he had elaborated on this particular sentence or particular thrust on Dhan, Dharti and Rajpat, and the overall, as far as the overall control is considered, it should be in the hands of the 95%, 90% population. So this is the particular topic, Dhan, Dharti or Rajpat पर 90 भाग हमारा है. Two distinguished speakers are going to talk on this particular topic. Mulnivasi Avinash Mahato, sir. He is the National Organization Secretary of PPID, and Mulnivasi Advocate Jairam Prasad Kushwaha, sir, also joining along with us. He is NEC member, National Executive Member of PPID. So both the people, both the panelists will be joining with us, and they will be giving their insight on this particular topic of Babu Jagdev ji's statement, Dhan, Dharti or Rajpat par 90 bhag hamara hai. So be there along with us tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. and thank you for joining today. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulyavasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat.